Hey, have you ever seen the book, Eye of the Storm?
Oh, that coffee table book of Paul McCartney's photographs?
Yes, I just bought a copy. The pictures are amazing, and the story of how the book came about is just as fascinating.
Oh, man. I mean, the origin story alone is just wild. Like, picture this, right? It's the year 2020. You walk into Paul McCartney's MPL headquarters over in London.
Right.
And there's this team of archivists, and they are just painstakingly sorting through decades of accumulated life.
Just boxes upon boxes, right? Filing cabinets that probably haven't been touched since, like, the invention of the internet.
Exactly. And tucked away in these forgotten, dusty folders, they find about 1,000 lost photos. I mean, rolls of 35mm negative that hadn't seen a single ray of light in almost 60 years.
That is just the ultimate archivist fantasy. But, you know, it's the timing of these shots that makes the discovery so monumental. Like, these weren't from some random lazy weekend in the late 70s.
No, they cover a highly specific 3-month window, December 1963 to February 1964.
The exact window when Beatlemania just went thermonuclear.
Oh, absolutely thermonuclear.
So today, our mission is to look at the biggest cultural hurricane in modern history. But we aren't looking from the outside in. We're looking from the inside out through Paul's own camera lens.
Which is so fascinating because, well, before we even look at the photos, you have to ask, why is a 21-year-old pop star lugging a heavy camera around?
Right. I mean, he was a little busy conquering the globe.
Just a bit. But in late 1963, he went out and bought a 35mm Pentax SLR. And back then, you know, an SLR wasn't just some casual point-and-shoot toy.
No, you really had to earn your photos back then. Manual focus, film speed, the whole deal.
Yeah, but think about his living situation. He was staying in London with Jane Asher's family, and he was just absorbing all this European art cinema, French New Wave films, and that gritty street photography you'd see in The Observer and the Sunday Times.
Which makes total sense. Now, Ringo Starr was also an avid photographer, obviously. He later published his own acclaimed photo book, Photograph.
He did, yeah. But there's a huge difference between their styles. Ringo's shots were very spontaneous and candid, just snapping the fun and chaos in the room.
Lots of motion blur and laughing.
Exactly. But Paul was highly deliberate. He had this very mature, artistic eye. In fact, curators at London's National Portrait Gallery actually confirmed that he was a genuinely skilled photographer.
Wow, that's some serious validation.
Totally. He used architectural framing and this gorgeous high-contrast natural light. He completely refused to use an artificial flash.
That takes some serious guts for an amateur, honestly.
And he used a shallow depth of field for these almost painterly portraits. He had that sort of Henri Cartier-Bresson patience, you know?
Waiting for the decisive moment.
Right. Just waiting for a wry smile or an exhausted glance before hitting the shutter.
Okay, so hearing about the gallery's validation, I've got to ask you this. Do you think his innate ear for musical rhythm and harmony directly translated into his visual framing? Like balancing a song versus balancing a photo?
Oh, I love that theory. Yes, absolutely. I mean, you're just swapping sound for light, right? The rhythm is in the negative space.
That is so cool. And to see that artistic eye in action, we have to travel to Paris, January 1964, the first major chapter.
The 18-day residency at the Olympia Theater.
Right. Now, France hadn't fully caught Beatlemania yet, which gave them this super rare pocket of freedom.
Yeah, they could actually walk around and breathe. And there's this one shot, this moody mirror self-portrait Paul took in a Parisian bathroom.
It's incredible. It's just a quiet moment of a 21-year-old sizing himself up right on the absolute edge of global fame.
It gives you chills. And then there's the photo of John Lennon. He's wearing those thick, dark-rimmed glasses, just reading a book in an armchair.
Which is wild, because contrast that with his public PR-coached image.
Oh, completely. The PR team always wanted the glasses off.
Yeah, he was supposed to be the witty, sarcastic, tough guy leader. But this photo shows the reality. A thoughtful, bookish intellectual with his guard totally down.
So vulnerable. And it was on this exact trip that the massive inciting incident happened. Brian Epstein brings the telegram.
The telegram confirming, "I want to hold your hand," hit #1 in America.
The axis of the earth shifts right there.
Boom. So, knowing how tightly managed their public image was, do you think this Paris trip was effectively the final moment they were ever allowed to just be normal guys? Like before the myth completely took over?
Oh, without a doubt. Once that hit, #1, the trap snapped shut. They were locked inside their own fame.
Which leads to the most important historical revelation in this whole collection.
Right.
The sheer contrast between the inside reality and the public myth.
Right, because the media portrayed them as this inseparable, cheerful, four-headed corporate pop marvel.
Always smiling, cheeky boys who took everything in stride.
But Paul's photos reveal the raw truth, which is just pure claustrophobia. You see images taken through smeared police car windows.
Oh man, documenting those walls of crowds, the wooden barricades, the flashing sirens, it looks terrifying.
It does. But amidst all that anxiety, you see this profound brotherhood. They were working-class lads leaning on each other for pure survival, not competing as rivals.
Checking on each other's well-being. And he also shines a light on the unsung heroes, keeping them sane, too.
Yes, like road managers Neil Aspinall and Mal Evans.
And press officer Derek Taylor. But the photos of Brian Epstein are something else.
They're just so striking. You don't see a slick executive in a bespoke suit.
No. You see an anxious, deeply caring mentor, chain-smoking, in these endless, ugly hotel corridors.
Carrying the weight of their entire universe on his shoulders.
You know, I was joking about this earlier, but their touring existence feels exactly like being locked inside a military submarine under immense pressure.
Ah, a submarine. That is spot on.
And Paul's camera lens was effectively their only periscope to the outside world.
Well, that submarine finally surfaces in the ultimate pressure cooker. America. February 7th, 1964, JFK Airport on Pan Am Flight 101.
Welcome to America. The media machine there was ferocious.
Beyond ferocious. They demanded everything, which gives us the Central Park photo, famously titled The Mob of Photographers.
I love this one, because instead of posing, Paul just raises his camera and fires right back at them.
Just boom! Right back at the heavy Graflex and Rolleiflex cameras of those veteran American press photographers pushing against the police lines.
It completely visually flips Beatlemania on its head. And it perfectly explains the title, Eyes of the Storm. The center is totally calm, while inches away, the media storm is just raging.
So true. And then you have the snowy streets of Washington, D.C., and those nervous moments inside the Plaza Hotel before the Ed Sullivan broadcast.
73 million viewers. I would have passed out. But let me ask you, regarding Paul shooting back at the press, do you think raising that camera was a psychological coping mechanism? Like a way to assert power over a machine actively trying to consume them?
Oh, definitely. It was a way to take back his agency. He became the observer instead of the prey.
A glass and metal shield.
Yeah.
Well, after surviving the sub-zero cold and the media crush up north, they finally flee south to Florida.
Miami. And that triggers a massive, explosive visual shift in his photography. He switches to color slide film, Kodachrome.
The shift is just breathtaking. You go from gritty European black and white to this sun-drenched, saturated American color.
And the contrast of their childhoods is crazy here. Gray, bombed-out post-war Liverpool versus Miami, which must have felt like a literal Technicolor paradise.
It's exactly like that moment in The Wizard of Oz, you know, when Dorothy opens a farmhouse door and everything is suddenly in vivid color.
Yes. The ultimate realization of the American dream they had idolized back home in the movie theaters.
You have these standout photos, like George Harrison lounging by the pool in sunglasses, receiving a tropical drink.
And Paul capturing these bright yellow tow trucks, speedboats, palm trees, and the beautiful azure waters.
Plus Ringo Starr just laughing uncontrollably as waves crash around him in the ocean.
He was this fleeting, innocent golden hour. Fame still felt like a glamorous vacation, not a lifelong burden.
Way before the heavy studio days of Sgt. Pepper. Just young men having the time of their lives in the sun. So, stepping back and bringing it all together, what makes these photos a true masterpiece of cultural history is their complete lack of hindsight.
That is the crucial key. Paul didn't know they were redefining the 20th century.
Right. Or that these specific photos would end up in prestigious art galleries. He was just a 21-year-old musician documenting a crazy adventure with his best friends.
It's just pure, unfiltered life. You're invited right inside the car with them.
Which leaves you with a pretty provocative thought to ponder. Today, we all obsessively document every single moment of our lives on smartphones, instantly sharing it with the world.
Oh, nonstop.
But if you were trapped in the center of a massive cultural hurricane, would you have the patience and artistic discipline to just be still and capture the quiet human truth the exact way Paul did?
Wait, I almost forgot to mention our Beatles store.
Yeah, we've collected our favorite Beatles treasures all in one place. We've got a dedicated Amazon Beatles store. The link is in the video description and the first comment.
It's a great way to support this channel and get some great prices on some Beatles merch. And if you have a browser handy, go to BeatlesRewind.com and that will get you to our store.
Until next time. When you listen,
your mind conducts its own symphony.